I am Peju Bamgboshe Roethlisberger,
Hi, everyone, and I'm Naomi Bambushi.
and this is the Bamgboshe Happy Hour Film and TV edition. How are you, Ma? What's up?
Oh, wonderful, sweetie. Everything is great on this end. On a beautiful, beautiful day. We're supposed to reach in the 70s, and we are well on our way. Just a lovely day. What else do you want me to say? I'm doing fine. The atmosphere is wonderful. What do you want me to say, daughter? I have no complaints.
Okay, well, that's good to hear that you have no complaints. There's a lot of stuff going on for us to get into. I think we first probably should do give a little toast to the Super Bowl teams, which we keep doing that because we're looking forward to a nice Super Bowl. So, cheers to the Chiefs and cheers to the Eagles. Ma, can you do that?
Okay, let's lift our glasses to both teams that are playing in the Super Bowl, and we wish luck to both teams. And we don't want anyone. We hope everybody will have a safe game, and and we're looking forward to it. So I want to say good health, continued good health, wealth, prosperity, long life, happiness. Salute to the Chiefs and the Eagles.
Injury free.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whew. All right. Well, I'm back to my mocktail for this episode. I won't be on the mocktail again, but too long. All right, let's start everything off. We like to start things off with some sports updates. Before I get into big major sports news, Beyonce had a little announcement that she made, and it was just teasing everybody that she is doing another tour. This will be the Cowboy Carter tour for 2025. She did not tell anybody the dates yet. It was just a little tease, and everybody got all excited. People was trying to get their taxes in to see if they can get some refunds. And people said they didn't have any money. Beyonce, they said, "Believe
Oh,
it." So everybody is all excited, but they need to plan. So they want Beyonce to let them know the date so they can plan.
that's funny. Okay.
Oh gosh. So that was good news. Some other news that some people may not think is so good. Yes, this is real, ladies and gentlemen. The Lakers have acquired Luka Doncic. He has been traded. The Mavericks decided that they did not want Luka on the team anymore. For Luka, they have Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 Los Angeles Lakers first round pick. And the Lakers have acquired Luka, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. Now, this is very, very, very unusual, guys, because Luka he was a 5-time first team All NBA player. He took the Mavericks to the NBA Finals last season. He's the reigning NBA scoring champion, and he is 25 years old. He will be 26. I think it's February 18th, but he's 25 years old. He is in the prime of his career. Most people say in basketball it's actually between 26 and 32, stretching it. But he is not even to what some people may even say his prime. But he is an excellent ball player, perennial talent, and we don't know exactly what happened. But as I say that, some things are coming out from the Dallas Mavericks camp that they were not happy with Luka's conditioning. He appeared to be overweight. And they have talked to him many, many, many times and asked him to get himself together to, train better. And they also felt that Luka has been staying after practice, drinking, beers, and they asked him not to do that, in between games. And Luca pretty much told them that he can do whatever he wants. Nobody tells him what to do. He's a star. And
Uh,
this is what I've heard. This is from NBA insiders. I heard this like 30 minutes ago.
hmm
So any thoughts on the whole trade?
Obviously, whatever all was going on behind the scenes, it is clear that the Mavericks were willing and, in fact, anxious to trade Luka, which is why they reached out and initiated this whole arrangement. I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know what the impetus was that caused them to want to get rid of Luca. We could all speculate that it was his conditioning and or his attitude. And it seems as if there's we can lend some credence to that, apparently. And we have seen right on camera one of the
Executives, yeah.
yes, one of the executives walked past Luca and snatched a bottle or a can of beer out of his hand, and this is right in the locker room. I mean, he had just walked off the court and was swinging down his beer. And but what happens is that he's not respecting the fact that he's earning millions of dollars to be the top franchise player, and he's not doing all he could do to maximize his playing time and his skills. He's more injury prone, and a lot of that has to do with poor conditioning.
He
You know,
hasn't played since Christmas, and
and
before Christmas, he had missed several games.
yeah, and a lot of people think that is due to poor conditioning and or being overweight. Well, that's all kind of the same thing. And I don't know that alcohol consumption is a part of it, but certainly if you're overweight, we know that alcohol has calories. So you may drink a little bit, but you don't need the beer. I hope it's light beer or no beer at all, because we all know beer is fattening. And so, yeah, I think they knew a lot that we didn't know. I think they know more than we know. I think
Of
that's
course.
reasonable to say. And they decided that they would just take their chances on making a different move instead of putting all their eggs in that basket. And Luca is talking smack and acting like he's irreplaceable, and nobody's above reproach. Hey, you can all get it. So that's
Well,
it.
well, here's a couple other things. One more important thing, Ma, is like, how do you feel? Because I don't think it's right. Luca apparently was shocked. He had no idea this was happening. LeBron had no idea this was happening. AD had no idea this was happening. How is it? How does it look when a team trades you and you have no idea you're being traded? None of the parties have any idea. I don't think that's right. I think and Mark Cuban no longer has a majority stake in this. I don't think this came from Mark Cuban at all, just to put that out. Because
Yeah,
I think Mark Cuban wanted Luca to remain a Dallas Maverick for life.
right. Well, let me just say this. All those things are things that are negotiated in your contract. Okay? I don't know what he signed and what it said. Oh, yes, it's negotiated whether they can move autonomously, unilaterally to trade you, or whether you must have input, or whether you must be informed, even if you don't agree. There's all different levels of participation. And those are things that are ironed out in a contract. Those are not things that you're supposed to have to say, oh, I assume. Those are things that are ironed out in a contract that they can terminate, they can do this, they can do that, blah, 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 blah. There has to be, agreement, or maybe not, or this or that. Those things are in a contract, and you looking at me like, oh, oh, oh. But they didn't know. Apparently, they didn't have to tell them. They didn't, so they didn't have to.
Well, I just think that there's a thing about, common courtesy and just.
I'm not saying it's right. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying apparently they had the legal authority and the wherewithal to do it. Because
I'm not talking about the legal authority here. Like, that's not.
nothing. Because those people don't care about anything except money.
But
And
we've never. I hear what you're saying, but we've never seen anything like this before. You're saying they don't care. But most people would have never, ever, 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 ever done anything like this before.
it's done. It's a wrap. It's over. Get over it. It's done.
Okay. So that's just you're okay. Mom, we're having a discussion. Get over it. That's
It's my opinion. My opinion is that Luca was non-compliant in some ways and not fulfilling his part of the deal with him. So they decided to get rid of him.
But it's not. So here's the thing. And then, like when Anthony Davis, he had no idea. He didn't do anything wrong in this situation. Do you understand? Like, it's not just about, okay,
They were moving covertly. They were not moving with honesty. They were not being forthcoming. They were
right.
moving surreptitiously. I got it. I got it. And
And it's not just like, okay, well, you lose your job. And then, well, you can't say lose your job because he was traded to another team. It's more to it. It's his family. Luca, has a child. It's your lifestyle moving from one part of the country to another part. It's not, and Anthony Davis, he has a wife and kids, like all of those things, you take into account when you have no discussion with the person, they wake up the next day and that's it. I don't know. I just think there's something really slimy about that, and I get what you're saying.
it absolutely is. Why are you getting mad with me? I'm not agreeing with you. I'm telling you that they didn't care.
Well, because you
And
told me to get over it.
no, I mean, get over the fact that these people behave badly.
Okay,
Of,
and
of
and
course, they behave badly. You
and
would want that to happen to you. You would hope that there would be some discussion. He's been their top player for some years now. You would hope that they would not treat him like that. But guess what? I guess they hoped he would behave differently too.
well, and like I said, Anthony Davis is involved in this as well. It's not just Luca. They decided that, okay. The last thing that I have to mention that's also very important is that Luca, because of his performance in the past, whatever it was, 4 or 5 years, his excellent performance on the court, he was eligible for a max contract this summer. That max contract would have been over 5 years, and it would have been $345 million that he was eligible for. He
Oh,
no longer
is
is
eligible for that.
eligible for that.
Well, then you answered your own question.
They took the money from him. They
I,
took
I
that.
understand you. I understand that. You answered your own question.
Okay.
You answered your own question. He's no longer eligible for an over $300 million contract. Oh, and you scratching your head why they did it? You confused about something? Okay.
He was going to be making almost $70 million a year. He now makes 40 something million a year. Obviously excellent, but that's a big difference. Okay. All right, Ma. Staying in the sports, a little bit.
Forget, this is not an era of kindness. This is the new era of mean, nasty, is the point. Okay?
Okay. Moving on, we're still talking about sports, but this is a little bit off the field, and just want to say, positive vibes for Dwayne Wade. He appears to be fine now. He revealed in a recent podcast that he had a cancerous tumor removed from his kidney on December 18, 2023. He shared that he discovered the tumor during a routine checkup after turning 40. The surgery removed 40% of his right kidney, and he is now cancer free. He opened about how emotional it was for him to go ahead and have the surgery. And he just says it's just important for everyone to pay attention to your health, no matter how young, how old, whatever.
Right.
Just wanted to,
Oh,
put that out there.
I hear you. Oh, wonderful that he's okay. Oh, I'm glad about that.
And then off the field,
Health, continue good health to D Wade. Okay.
and continuing on off the field, this is in the NFL. We mentioned this on the last episode. Ravens kicker Justin Tucker is facing multiple allegations of sexual inappropriate behavior, with 3 additional massage therapists accusing him of misconduct, bringing the total to 9 accusers. The incidents allegedly took place between 2012 and 2016, and that was during his first 5 seasons in the NFL. He is a 7-time Pro Bowler and the NFL's most accurate kicker. and he also is the longest tenured player on the Ravens. So more stuff is coming out about him. Not good, not good, not good.
Okay. I don't know what's going on, but well, I hope everyone gets the treatment and justice that they're seeking. That's
Mhm.
it. All I can say. Oh boy.
Okay.
Mhm.
So my let's move on to some stuff that's a little bit more upbeat. We're going to get into our TV shows and movies. So first, I think we can get into Paradise, which stars Mr. Sterling K. Brown and James Marsden. It so this is a sort of like a utopian mystery thriller where Sterling K. Brown is a Secret Service agent. He's thrown into some type of mystery when he finds out that the president, played by James Marsden's character, he's dead in his bedroom with a gunshot wound in his head. It's in his head, right?
I think so. I think the injury is definitely in his head. Yeah.
Okay. And so Sterling K. Brown's character, Xavier Collins, is close to the president. He had just been promoted to lead agent after saving his life, the president's life, in an assassination attempt. But when he investigates the scene, things really just kind of start to fall off. And that's really kind of where we start with the first episode. And then there's just a lot of other kind of interesting characters. What are your thoughts so far on the first episode, or is it all kind of mixed in? The first,
Well, I don't know.
third,
There might be some overlap,
right?
but in my view, there might be some overlap. But what I want to say is that I think Sterling K. Brown is doing a really good job. It's a very interesting character, pretty intense, but he does show a vulnerability, which makes you, kind of connect to him. So I do like that. I don't want to go too much. I don't know how much I should be saying to people. I like the fact that he also has a family, and I like his vulnerability. And I like it that he's somehow always so far,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part. Well, I would say he's always trying to do the right thing, at least legally, and I think morally, he's always trying to do the right thing. Um, I'm very interested in seeing how he wants to. I don't want to go too much
Let me
into
let me give a little bit more background, mind, then you can give your full
right,
opinion on
right,
everything.
okay,
In episode 2, we dive a little bit deeper into Samantha Redmond's backstory and her transformation from, she's like a successful businesswoman. She's wealthy, she's a billionaire. Her son is diagnosed with a terminal illness, and after that, it just kind of changed her entire, attitude. Obviously, and she's connected with the president, and they, have a professional relationship, and they start this whole Colorado project. So we see that. I'm skipping out some things, but like that's the major thing. And then in episode 3, we get to see Glenn Turman, who is playing Xavier, Sterling K. Brown's father. And he's an Asian airline pilot, who he's hiding that, he had Parkinson's disease. Um, and there's just a lot that goes on with that. We find out there's more of a relationship with the doctor, the therapist, and Sterling K. Brown, played by Sarah Shahi. We see that they have a little bit of chemistry, but towards the end of the episode, we find out that she was sent a message, was given a message from the president, and for her to contact Sterling K. Brown if anything happened to the president. Well, I guess if he was killed,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
And what is the other agent's name? I can't think of his name right
oh,
now. That's Billy. Billy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Billy is. We're suspicious of him now. There's a lot. So go ahead, Ma.
Well, what I was going to say is that the part that am the most interested in is the fact that this billionaire woman, and we call her Sinatra. She
Sinatra. Yes.
U.S. Sinatra, and Sinatra, who is just really running things. She's just totally running everything, and everybody seems to be afraid of her. either they want to be friends with her because they feel she's so powerful and whatever, or they're afraid of her. Everybody seems to just sort of listen to her. Sterling K. Brown, aka Xavier, is not happy with her. He doesn't trust her. He feels something is very wrong with her, and he's determined to take her down. And that's what I want to see.
Well, what
That
is up with Billy though? Because Billy is
I'm
hiding stuff,
not
and Billy is
I,
going with
I'm not
his.
sure. I'm not sure about Billy because Billy is Billy the one that you're referring to, who is he seems to be Xavier's friend. He seems to be Xavier's good buddy, but he also has this love relationship going, right? Xavier doesn't know that, right?
Mm-mm.
And I think that may be why Billy is behaving so oddly. Because to me, it could be more to Billy than that. It could look, it could be more to Billy than that. But why is Billy hiding that?
Right.
So so I'm not really not too sure about that. That hasn't piqued my interest as much as Xavier and Sinatra.
Well, Ma, but did you see Billy who was like outside, lurking outside like Xavier's house with a gun?
Well, I don't know why that was. I think that might have been like a red herring, to make us think something, and it really just is not, because he's very close to. I couldn't put that together because he's very close to Xavier, and if he wants to get him, don't forget they run together, they do everything. What I couldn't put that together. I didn't see why there was a need for that. This is a man, this is not a man that you got to sneak to be around. This is a man who you could easily you bring him a cup of coffee or drink because he trusts you and he calls on you to be his right hand. So I didn't kind of understand that.
Yeah.
Ex- Except that he just didn't want to be, he didn't want it to be known that he was around him in case something really did happen. I could understand it on that level, but to me, I had questions about it. Could go either way, of course, but I had questions about it as just being something to kind of throw us off a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe not, because he's not being forthcoming about his relationship and what would be the big deal, and especially if you're so close to Xavier, So I don't know. It could be. He's Billy's character is interesting because on one hand, Billy seems very shrewd. On the other hand, he seems like a screw up. That whole thing about playing the game and this and that. I don't know if I buy that. I had questions about that
Yeah, that was weird.
because that just seemed really, really kind of irresponsible, you
Right.
know. Yeah, so
And he's always falling asleep on the job. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, let's see what happens with that. But that part, the falling asleep part, is irresponsible.
Mhm.
What could be the good reason for doing that? You know, so
What do you
okay.
think about the doctor, the therapist?
I like her, and I actually like the chemistry between the doctor and Xavier. I really kind of like there. I really kind of like where she's coming from. I don't know because she could just be manipulating all the way around. Come on, and I want to go for the charm, So, but I'm liking the chemistry between them. I understand he recently lost his wife. He seems to be very quick to get intertwined physically, but I understand he's very vulnerable
I
right
don't
now.
know how recent it was. I'm off the
We don't
time.
know the time span. Yeah, we don't know the time span. Yeah, so we shall see.
Yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
because they
but it's interesting, and it gets more and more interesting as it goes along. As far as I'm concerned, it's getting better.
yeah.
Each episode is getting better.
Okay. I think yeah, I mean I like it for the most part. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens. Sterling K. Brown is always, worth a watch just to see him because I feel like he's interesting. But yeah, so let's see what happens.
Okay, alrighty.
All right. So moving on to a movie because we're going to be going all over the place is SNL So in this Saturday night movie, we have like a behind the scenes of like the chaos that leads up to like the first ever broadcast of Saturday Night Live, which happened on October 11th, 1975. We see all types of things. The costumes aren't ready. John Belushi, I think he didn't even have his contract signed yet. Uh, you know, uh, Garrett Morris doesn't even understand why he's doing this type of film, thinking that this is kind of not film, a show, like because he's a very well trained, actor, went to Juilliard, like
Not really a stand-up comedian.
right. And so he just kind of felt in the beginning, obviously he felt out of place, but he worked everything out and we know that it was a success. It's kind of hard to watch at first because everything is so chaotic, but it eventually slows down and you understand the ride that you're on. You see, how the actors are, very talented, and most of them are really young. Lorne Michaels is young. And I think for the most part, it's pretty interesting. It's, filled with, we have Lamar Morris, we have Gabriel LaBelle, who played Steven Spielberg, a young Steven Spielberg in The Fablemans. We have Dylan O'Brien from Successions, cousin Greg. There's a lot. We have Kaya Gerber, Sidney Crawford's daughter, William Defoe, J.K. Simmons, Matthew Rice, who I really loved in The Americans. He said so. It was just a lot in there. Some things were over the top, but that's kind of how SNL was.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I liked it more than I didn't like it. So I would probably give it a premium, maybe probably like a 6.5 is probably where we'll go. What about you?
I was gonna go a premium 7. I thought it was pretty good. Well, initially it was like a big slapstick comedy when it first came on. Just everything that could go wrong went wrong, and I said to myself, "Oh my goodness, this is just like one of the real shows, but not the behind the scenes. This is like what we actually see on screen for the most part."
Mhm.
Which is all done for a laugh. I I did, like certain parts of it that was more serious.
Mhm.
Uh, I liked the Garrett Morris when he came out singing the song, "Kill Whitey." I'm going to get a gun and kill and shoot everybody, And they were first stunned and then they all laughed and they took it tongue in cheek, which it was intended to be. I thought that was funny. Andy Kaufman was sad because I remember Andy Kaufman even from Taxi. So it was just sad about him because he met an early demise. John Belushi was already overdosing on drugs. Then in the very beginning, that was another sad recollection. Uh, you know, it was just good. I actually remember Gilda Radner. I remember she was so good and she was so funny. She also met it, early demise. So some of it to me was a sad. Some of it was a little bit sad when I looked at the cast members who are, no longer here. And well, that's 50 years, but these guys left early. They died early on. But I remember them. I remember them. I was younger than them, but I remember them. And so overall, I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great or fabulous, but overall, I thought it was good.
Okay.
Oh, I see you smiling. You're gonna tell me I'm Lauren Michaels' age? Lauren Michaels like 80s or
I
80s.
didn't
Oh,
say you were.
please. I didn't say I was young. I just said I'm significantly younger than they are. Okay. Or
All
they've
right.
been.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay. So it definitely was more good than bad, and I'm like you, it got much better as the film progressed.
Yeah. Yeah. And Carson was just really nasty. Oh my goodness. The conversation that Carson had with Lauren Michael. Oh my goodness. He was very nasty. So I didn't know about that, but well, so be it. We see how it all worked out.
I
Okay.
I didn't know much about Johnny Carson. For whatever reason, I never particularly cared for him. I just what I knew from afar. He just didn't seem like a nice person, but I don't know. I don't know. Okay, moving on to our second movie of the week. You are cordially invited, starring Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell. And this is about a woman who is planning her sister's dream wedding, and the father of a bride to be. They arrive at a secluded destination resort. Only did they discover that both of the weddings have been scheduled for the same day, and so the venue is double booked. And all the chaos kind of ensues from there. Will Ferrell is a father to be, and Reese Witherspoon is a sister who's
You
her
said Will Ferrell is the father of the bride, right?
Right, is the father of the bride. And so, oh my gosh, this was just really, really just very ridiculous. Some of the things that went on in this film, I don't even know. It was so bad. It was good, if that makes any sense. You just could not take anything serious. They really didn't really take much time to make it. It seemed like they put it in Chat GPT and said, can you create the craziest comedy possible? And then the romantic part, Reese Witherspoon, I don't know, no disrespect to Will Ferrell, I just don't see her and Will Ferrell having any type of chemistry together. None whatsoever.
They didn't have any in the movie either. No, I mean, I know that we were supposed to buy into that, but no, I'm with you. I'm not buying it. I didn't feel it. I didn't see it. And no, I didn't buy it, didn't see it, didn't feel it, and I thought the movie was just outrageously silly. The only thing that I could say that was pleasant about it, the little island there was very nice, very lovely, as many little secluded areas are. Very beautiful. That's it.
Peyton was in there. Peyton, he had a little cameo.
Well, Peyton, Peyton is always
Peyton
personal.
Manning.
Yes. Peyton is always very personable, very charming, and Peyton represents himself well. Overall, I have not seen Peyton give a bad performance in anything that he's done. He's always been good. Peyton has always been, my word, charming. He's always been charismatic, and that's what he is. But the rest of them, and the Jonas Brothers, he was cute, whichever
Nick.
one.
That's Nick.
Yes, he's a cutie pie. I liked him. I didn't think he was in the best voice, and but I guess he wasn't supposed to be. He sang a little something. It seemed like it was a cappella or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, whatever.
He had a frog in his throat that day.
Yeah, something was going on. But other than that, it was just so silly. It was just incredibly silly.
Wait. Let me interrupt you quick. Yeah. Remember, he was supposed to be the pastor. Somebody that that lives in his house said that he was kind of like the pastor at my wedding, but only he was the white version.
What do you mean, dazed and confused? After you jump the broom, come back. Hey, wait. I got to talk to you some more.
No, I had the hip hop pastor, and he was the boy.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I hope. Did you check to see if you're legally married? Did you check with all and make sure everything, the proper documents were registered?
He told the groom that even you remember when I was late. But we aren't going to go there why I was late. But anyway, he told the group, don't worry, you married anyway now.
Yeah, good. Anyway, right. There's no legalities or formalities that we have to acknowledge, Oh, you married anyway. Okay, good.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
But it was good. And, I mean, the thing where part of what was it out there? The whole
the dock
area. Yeah. It all just fell stuck into the, what? I mean, how unstable was it? If it was that easy to collapse, they shouldn't have been out in the first place. A boat just comes by and everything falls apart.
And a little small boat, too.
anything blowing up or anything. It just fell apart. What, you put an extra tier on the cake and it falls, the whole damn thing falls apart. It just was too silly. And like, how many guys had on the very same outfit? So you look and you see the outfit. Oh, that's the groom. It's the groom. It can't be one of the 5 or 6 other people wearing the same outfit.
It was more than that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like the great disparity in the height or the hair color or the anything. They all look the same from a distance, and you only seen this person for about 5 minutes in your life. Oh, that's him. He's out there. Why? You know. And then the father who wanted to blow up everything anyway, he just goes with it. Yeah, that was you out there. So it was off the hook.
And
And
the crocodile was nice, right?
yeah, the crocodile was great. The crocodile was relaxing in the bed with Will Ferrell. That was really good. That was really good. I just don't care how they insult the viewing audience, right?
He
They just,
was the crocodile was singing in the end credits.
yeah, that's good. Yeah. Well, I'm sure there was somebody in the outfit there laying in the bed with him. I figured the crocodile had skills. Oh my goodness. It just was so ridiculous. And that Reese Witherspoon, she should be ashamed of herself. That was a silly money grab. It wasn't even funny. I could see a silly, funny movie that's good. That thing was terrible. Mm.
What do you give it by? A hooch.
Yep, a total hooch. And it only gets that much because we had Nick Jonas, we had Peyton, and the crocodile, I guess. You know what? But there was I think it was the sister. I think it was Reese Witherspoon's character. I think it was her sister.
Mhm.
And she had the heavy accent and always wear the long flowery dresses. She was, I forget her name. She's a stand-up comedian, and I actually like her. I think it begins with an M, like maybe Margaret or Madge or
I
something like
forgot, but I
she
know
is funny. She is fun. I like her. She is silly, funny. She doesn't tell, she may tell. I've never heard her tell any kind of racialized jokes or anything. She's always talking about her family and herself. And I think she is so funny. I really like her. And she has that very heavy Southern accent, and which she exploits to the hilt. I think she is so funny. She is really
yeah.
so that's the first time I've actually seen her in a movie because I always see her like on the internet and whatnot with her jokes. And I'm sorry that if that was her debut, I'm sorry it was in such a the sucky, movie.
I
But
don't think that was her debut at this stage of the game.
well, I just hadn't seen her in anything before. Well, anyhow, I was glad to see her, and I wish I could remember her name so I could give her a shout out. But I was glad to see her in a movie because she's always funny. Although she didn't do, in a routine or anything like that. But I was just glad to see her because I know she's a talented comedian. So yeah,
Yeah, she's a talented comedian. I can't think of her name. I'm trying to find her name for you, but I know the comedian.
yeah.
I've seen her. Her name is Leanne Morgan.
Leanne Morgan. I knew there was an M in there. I was thinking it was the first name, Leanne Morgan. I think she's so funny. I like her. Mhm.
Right, right, right. Okay, well, I mean, I am gonna give it probably a little bit higher than you, but still a hooch. I'll probably give it a 4.5 because it was like I said, it was so bad. It was funny because it was just so ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So moving on to Severance. So there's a lot of stuff going on in Severance, in this episode 3, things just kind of get even a little bit more strange. The characters are continue to search for Miss Casey, who is really Adam Scott's Mark's wife, him and Helly. And Helly, I don't know, is that really Helly? Like, is she the outie pretending to be the innie, or is that really her innie? Because I don't trust her anymore because
I
she lied.
don't know, but all I know is that he likes her. Mark likes her.
As an innie, right?
Yeah, yeah, he likes her as an any. He likes her a lot, and
But
I,
she likes him. Like
I'm
the outie likes him, and I guess the innie does too.
Yeah, well, I don't know because it rattled me. Okay, and probably because I haven't been paying really strict attention to the whole first season, but
Yeah.
it rattled me when Helly walked up to and confronted what's her name? Colby.
Yeah, Patricia Arquette's character. Yeah.
Yeah, our kid's character, Kobe. That rattled me because I didn't think she had the balls to do it. But she walked up to her and she said, "Yeah, let's have the meeting with the board." And she was like, she knew she was going to get full support from the board, right? I mean, she felt very confident about that and, and Colby or whatever, Patricia Arquette's character, when she saw the guy who was driving stand up beside Helly, she was like, "Oh hell no. I'm not even messing with it." And she turned around and left. That I was surprised at that whole exchange because Helly always comes off to me as softer. I didn't think, well,
Oh ma.
maybe I'm not understanding because
Okay. So I
you
think
know that.
so Helly is the daughter of like the CEO of that whole company.
You mean Cure, or whatever?
Yes, she's the daughter. I
She,
don't I'm not I don't know about the founder or whatever, but the
that's
guy who's running everything now,
okay. Okay.
she's the daughter.
Okay. Now, see, I don't know who that person is.
They only showed him once, and that
Okay.
was from last season. And I don't
Okay.
know.
And that's the season I didn't watch too much.
Oh,
Okay.
right, right.
Okay.
And
That's why
it was
I didn't realize that she had that kind of juice because to me, she doesn't come across as mean and negative. To me, she comes across more soft.
okay. So here's the issue. So her innie always came across as sweet and nice, and
Right.
then last season we get to see that who her outie is, and her outie is not a nice person
Okay.
at all. And we don't know if her outie is her innie right now because
Right.
she seems to really like Mark.
Right. They can switch it up. Right.
And they
Okay.
can't, only she could probably switch it up because she has that juice.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She's able to do that. Well, wait a minute. She ain't the only one who can do it.
She
She's
is the only one that can do it. She's the only one that knows how to do it. The rest of them are just trying to figure out how to do it. Like they don't know. They don't have like a real
the
prescription.
reintegration. Is that the reintegration you're talking about?
The reintegration, the reintegration is something separate. I think that because her family, her father owns the company, that she will have privy to more information and be able to
She'll
do.
know how to do it without going through all that whole reintegration thing.
Right, right,
Okay, I got you. She can make an easy switch if she wants to.
right,
Okay,
right,
okay, I got you. I got you.
right.
Well, 'cause I was thinking that I was thinking the same thing, kinda, but I was just thinking it was all under the guise of reintegration and that she was privy to that and only a few people could do that. But like you said, she would have superior knowledge to other people because of her position. Okay.
Right, right. So there's a lot going on with that. There's still like, the
Irving's partner. What's going on with Irving's partner or the guy that Irving loves or whatever?
okay. Well, okay. I was just gonna before I get into Urban, because I was gonna get into him right now. I just wanted to say one last thing that is just very weird. The whole like goats, the baby goats, that is just very bizarre.
Thing about lift your stomach and let me see like your navel to see if you're an innie or an outie with the navel.
Right. I don't know.
I didn't understand it either. And I'm still scratching my head about Miss Wang, the assistant.
The girl, the child.
Yes, I'm still scratching my head about her.
Yep, I think that's the whole thing. As far as Irving is, he's still trying to, figure out what's going on. I don't know about his partner. They haven't showed Christopher Walken really much at all. Like they showed him like briefly in the car.
Yeah, yeah. Early on, right?
Right, right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So he's very suspicious now. Um he's very suspicious. But Dylan, we did get to see a little bit more of Dylan and his actual wife, and I was surprised that they showed her, and that really is his wife in the Audi. And so it was just odd. Uh And he's hiding that.
And he's very slovenly on the outside.
Yes.
He
Yes.
seems to be like laid out on the couch, home with the kids, and she's working and telling him what to do, and huh?
He
And she
seems to
seems,
be a big disappointment in as an outie.
but she loves him and she's supportive of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm, okay.
And Milchek, I don't really know what's going on with Milchek. Oh, that whole
But
thing with Milchek and the other black worker there, I don't remember her name. That was a little bit weird when they had like the painting of the company's founder, and then now they changed them to like a black man. I guess they were trying to make it seem like,
and they said his name was Kerr or Kier or something like that. Yes,
yeah,
saying he was the founder, but
right.
he was a black man, right? And she also went to visit uh what's the guy that wrote the book? She was also at his home.
Oh yeah. Mark's brother-in-law. I don't remember his name.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So and then so at the end we see that they're trying to do the reintegration with Mark. So we'll see what happens with that. But I thought it was a good episode. I just think there's a lot of things that are confusing.
Right. Well, there's a lot that they're going to need to be explaining to us. So, which is good, which keeps us on our toes. Trying to figure out exactly what in the heck is going on. I enjoyed it. I actually am really paid attention and I'm starting to enjoy it much more this season because really the first season I was hit or miss with it, barely saw it, and didn't think it was that interesting. But this season, now that I'm paying more attention to it, I see it has greater entertainment value as far as I'm concerned. I think it's pretty interesting. And, once you start to relate to the characters and so on and so forth, it's good. You want to try to, resolve it. You want to try to figure out what's going on and why it's happening. I have a lot of questions, but it is piquing my interest. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm really enjoying Severance this season. I'm thinking that they're doing a good job of bringing everything together. It was off the air for 3 years. So they, good job. And Ben Stiller is like an executive producer and he's directed several episodes.
I saw his name on the credits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Good for Ben. Good look for you, Ben.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like Ben Stiller. He was always pretty, cool.
Oh yeah. Oh, I liked his parents even. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so moving on with Harlem. So we're, like we said, we're in Harlem season 3, which is the final season. I hate that, it's ending so quickly, but sometimes it's better when shows end sooner than later and just stretch things out and it doesn't make any sense. I guess we can kind of start with, working our way up the line, I guess with Ty and Eva and their relationship. And Ty is really getting close to Eva, right, Ma? But and I think that they, eventually they confessed their love with each other, but they had a little argument there. And I don't think that Ty handled it well. I think, from my perspective, and let me know what you think, Ma. I think that Ty asked Eva for her opinion on the presentation that she was working on, and Ty did not take kindly when Eva gave her honest opinion. What were your thoughts? And then she was like ready to like she, the
I've seen
relationship almost.
Yes, I've seen that happen on multiple occasions in many different relationships where a person asks for your opinion, but if it's not given the way, if they don't receive it a certain way, they just get very offended. I've seen that happen multiple times, and and at some point, everybody's got to just sort of take a step back and say, well, probably the truth is somewhere in the middle. Probably, maybe she was, maybe Ty was a little hypersensitive and overreacted, and maybe I forget the girlfriend's name. What's her name?
Eva.
Eva, and maybe Eva was a little not as tactful as she could have been in her delivery. So the truth is usually somewhere in the middle, like I said. I'm glad to see that Ty who reacted the most extreme when she told her to get out. Certainly that was an overreach. Certainly she should not have said that.
Right.
And she realized that that was not a good thing. So I'm glad about that because that shows, personal growth. That shows that she's, introspective, and that was really good, And also she really cares about the person. She says she really loves the person. And so she wanted to see her and she missed her. And so that was good. So I thought it was really good. And they confessed their mutual love. And I like that. I thought that was good.
Yeah, I listen, I like it for Ty. Let's see what happens, but this seems like this could be a long-lasting relationship. I'm crossing my fingers for Ty.
Okay.
Um
Me too.
now
Now it's looking really good. And Eva. Mm-hmm.
Now moving on to Angie and Mike, and this is, a big portion of this is, planning their wedding day. There's, a couple of major things in with Angie and Mike. Number one is that Angie wants to have this big lavish wedding at this huge venue, and Mike is opposed to that. We later find out he's opposed to it because he's not really close to his family, doesn't have as big of a family, and doesn't want, like a glaring reminder of how he's not close with his family. And so that's an issue. The other issue is that Mike doesn't like Angie's role that she's playing in I think it's like a girls trip reunion or remake on Broadway, and there's a song called I Got Drugs in My Booty, and Mike feels that that is beneath her talent and that she doesn't need to be doing things like this and doesn't need to worry about money because she is going to marry him and he has plenty of money. And so that's an issue. And she struggles with that in this episode. And she comes to the realization that she doesn't want to, she wants to work. She's proud of the vehicle that she's in, the play. And she's gonna rock with that. Now, I don't know, Ma. I don't know what your thoughts are about it. Mike to me still seems to have like a look on his face where he doesn't seem to be 100% all in it. And maybe that's just me putting two and two together, or my own projecting things that I've seen from other like reality shows. Maybe it's nothing. What are
Right.
your
Well, I don't think that she's hearing him, whether he's having doubts about the marriage itself or just having doubts, just having cold feet. The comment that what we call cold feet, which is an ordinary, little apprehension prior to getting married, but not that he doesn't love her or that he's not committed to her. I'm not sure where he falls, because that's a wide gap, between the two. So I'm not sure where he falls, but I feel that Angie is not listening to him, period, wherever he falls. I think Angie has it in her head, the vision of how she wants the wedding to be, how she wants her life to be, how she wants her marriage to be, and on and on and on and on. And she's not willing to compromise anywhere along the line. I have not seen that from her. I haven't heard her say, "Oh, well, honey, maybe we should have a smaller venue. Oh, I see how you feel. Oh, okay. Well, we can, instead of having a place that holds 500 people, we can have a place that holds 100 or 200 or whatever, 50 or whatever." I haven't heard any compromise from her, and I haven't heard her say anything like, "Oh, honey, maybe I'll just work part-time," or maybe I won't be in this play, but I will continue to work, or maybe I'll compromise in one area but not the other. I just haven't heard any kind of compromise anywhere in any area, as if she's not hearing him, not listening to him, or even worse, his feelings don't matter if she does hear and understand him. So, it's not, to me, it's not looking good. And it's showing, I mean, if he is, sort of pulling back or whatever, well, she's giving him every reason. She's giving him a bunch of red flags, because if we can't talk, we can't do nothing. If we can't talk, I don't know how the rest is going to work out,
He's yeah,
So,
she seems to, I'm like you, she seems to not hear him. That's a really good observation, Mom. Okay, so now we have Quinn and Seth, and that's Kofi. And so Quinn, she's really into Seth, and the way their relationship started, there was no commitment. It was what everyone calls, I can't stand this term, a situationship. Nobody's really committed to one another. When they see each other, they see each other, they have a good time. And this seems to be going on for several months, and they even say to each other that they love one another. But no one has said that we're going to be exclusive, or no one said this, or blah, 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 blah. He did say he's going to spend more time with her during the off season. He, would love to do that. And she says, oh, yeah, I would love to do it too. But then in the middle of the night, he gets a phone call from someone, and he somebody named Sabrina, who he calls Babe, and says, I love you. But he also mentions that he was with Quinn earlier. So I don't know what is going on. But I know that Quinn wasn't happy about it, because she said, what the F, and the episode went off.
Right. I don't think, I'm going to say, maybe this is wishful thinking. I'm going to say it's not a romantic interest. I'm going to say it's not, because it was late at night and he was with Quinn. He could have not answered it. He could have turned his phone off. He certainly could have not mentioned Quinn. But he did all those things.
Right.
So to me, he was moving more openly. I mean, he did get out the bed, but certainly he knew Quinn could hear him or would listen. I mean, come on. He didn't go in the bathroom and close the door. She didn't have to get out the bed to go eavesdrop. He just went a few feet away, clearly, and he didn't seem to be whispering. And like I said, the fact that he said he was with Quinn, because when were you with Quinn? Are you with Quinn now? Well, what you doing with Quinn? I mean, that's a double whammy on either side. What you doing over there all times of night with Quinn. But if I'm some sort of relative or just got a chance to call you or something like that, or something, it then, and you understand that my work hours or my schedule or whatever, whatever. And clearly I'm somebody close to you, but how close am I to you that you're telling me that you're with Quinn? It would not seem that I'm romantically close, because I know what you're doing with Quinn. And you're referring to Quinn, so I know who Quinn is. It's Quinn, So I don't know. I'm thinking that they just threw that out there for us to, resolve. But
Right.
Who knows?
We don't know. We don't know. It was an interesting cliffhanger. I like them together, so I'm hoping that it's not anything too crazy.
Right.
But speaking of crazy, let's move on to Camille. Now, Camille and Ian. Now, it's months have passed, several months have passed, and she is now 8 months pregnant. And it seems that her and Ian in the beginning were working things out, leading up to the baby being born, which we haven't seen that part yet. But Ian misses a like a Lamaze class for couples. And so Camille is all upset about it, and blah, 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 blah. And eventually, Ian comes and says that whatever his girlfriend's name is, her father, I think, did her father pass?
Stroke.
He had a stroke, right? He didn't die. I'm sorry. He had a stroke, and so that was obviously a real valid reason. But Camille, made him know that it doesn't matter, what happens, whether it's real or not. I still have the baby 24/7. The baby is the priority, 24/7. So you need to remember that. And so he, agreed, and they talked and everything. What I didn't like, two things. She wants to hang out with him. She says, oh, we don't really hang out. We used to be best friends. You relinquish that when you and him are no longer together. He's not supposed to hang out with you as a friend anymore.
And she initiated that, not him. That was her idea. That was never his idea. That was her idea, which made no sense until now she finds out she's going to have a child with him. Now you want to hang out. What hang out? Ain't no hanging out.
Right.
if me have a child, well, yeah, we hang out to the extent that we support the child, as the child is involved in, other events and social activities. Plenty of those we might share together because we're supporting the child. But that could be uh, us supporting, the child along with another mate, another husband or wife or living partner or date or whatever. It doesn't even necessarily mean we'll support the child uh, as a single co-parent, you
Right.
know. So, I mean, it may go down that way because it just may be more convenient just to keep it down, or it may not, because everybody is free. They aren't married. They aren't a couple. They aren't, they're no longer in a romantic relationship. So, and she is the one who initiated that whole thing.
Right. Right. I agree with you. So I didn't like that where she's coming from. And then she, oh, she's lonely, blah, blah, blah. So she meets a guy, actually the friend of Kofi's friend,
Yeah.
meet him and they talk and he goes back to her apartment. And I don't know, he seems to be interested in her. I don't know if she's really interested in him or just excited that somebody paid her, attention. So, but to me, I'm like, once again, like, Camille, what is it that you want? You said that you didn't want to be in a serious relationship. You weren't ready for that. You didn't want that. Now you're having a child. To me, not that she shouldn't want a romantic partner, but right now, at least for these couple of months of whatever, your main focus should be your baby. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
Correct. Correct.
I,
So let's just see how it goes. Just Megan Good really plays a sensible character. She's always saved in the end by some set of circumstances, but her characters always make a series of mistakes in relationships. And she lands on her feet. That which is wonderful. But she's always somehow a damsel in distress who throws herself into chaos all the time. That's kind of how she is in almost every picture. You rarely see her where she's making sensible decisions. Once or twice I've seen her, where she was a cop and she met a nice guy and everything, played by Tay Diggs, and she had 3 girls or something like that. But for the most part, well, and
Tay
none of it
Diggs,
is
I
making
don't remember
sense.
that.
Well, no, well, I was watching things on my different channels that I like, and I saw it, and it was really good.
No, I just didn't say. I just don't remember that.
So I
That.
didn't even probably mention it to you.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so Harlem is, pretty good this season. Some choices that in particular Camille to me is making that I don't understand, aka Megan Good's character.
I am going to say I keep wanting to call him Benny because I remember him so much as his character Benny.
Well, his name is Ian on here.
Ian, right? His real name is Tyler. I think his name is like Tyler.
Something with an L. Something.
Tyler Lepley or something like that is his
Yeah.
last name. Something
Yeah.
like that. But anyway, Ian, I think he's going to be, so far, he has been a decent guy. I think he's going to be a stand-up father. I don't know how much of a partner he's going to ever be again to Camille. I don't know about that. But I think he's going to be a decent father
Right.
to the I see that already because when she had that $1,600 bill, a lot of people, even if they had it, they would have been whining and, oh no, oh, I can't, oh, well, we do halfsies and this and that. He didn't. He just said, look, just go ahead. I already just sent the money over, whatever. And that was it. And a $1,600 unexpected expense. Well, you know, he didn't know. And not that he didn't know she was pregnant, he didn't know that she didn't have insurance or what was going on with that. Because a lot of times, just because she quit her job, a lot of times your insurance covers you for a period beyond that.
Well,
So,
that's what she thought.
yeah, well, but she didn't check.
No.
She didn't check. Well, And then she goes, I'm going to get an advance on my book, as if that was guaranteed to her. That's no guarantee. That's what I'm saying. She's too scattered. When you have to pay bills, you can't tell them, well, I think I'm going to get an advance, you
Well,
know.
she doesn't act like an adult in
No,
here, and she doesn't act like an educated woman.
not at all. Very dippy and irresponsible. That's what I'm saying. Often she plays that kind of character. But, here comes somebody in to save her, you know. So, thank goodness, because it could have been by a father who, even if he wanted to give the money, didn't have it,
But
right?
but you know what, Ma, and not really changing topics, switching topics. I don't think Megan Good is actually like that in real life. I don't think anyone comes to save her. I think she
I
comes to
think she
save
saved
other
herself.
people.
That's right. She saves herself and she helps out other people. Yeah, that's just her character. I think because she's very tiny and vulnerable looking, I think they just use that play into that. I think that's what happens. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's move on. Okay, I think that's pretty much it as far as the TV shows that we're going to get into. But I think we should talk about Valentine's Day because we haven't really had a chance, and that is rapidly approaching. So we know that people like to spend a lot of money on Valentine's Day. So they project that it'll be a record of 27.5 billion in gifts and outings for celebrating V-Day in 2025, up from last year with 25.8 billion. It always goes up. I don't know why they say that. Everything goes up, so please. But I thought we'd talk about some fun Valentine's Day facts from around the world, Mom. Okay, so number one, although Valentine's Day is associated with a Christian saint, its origins are not entirely religious, Ma. While references to courtship date back to the Middle Ages, the tradition of sending Valentine cards started in Britain in the late 18th century, Ma. What are your thoughts about that?
Nothing interesting. Okay. Let's come talk about how it evolved into where it is now.
All right. Number two, man. Not everyone is a fan of Valentine's Day. Is not universally loved. Some people, especially people who are single, divorced, or feeling down, do not like Valentine's Day. In other countries, such as Saudi Arabia banned the sale of Valentine's Day items in 2008, and other Malaysian authorities arrested over 100 Muslim couples in 2011 for celebrating Valentine's Day.
Hey,
Hmm?
but why?
Because they don't like love. I don't know. How do I know?
I mean, you should know. Well, I thought since you had that information there, it would, you would have some reason as to why, because there has to
Oh,
be.
wait, here I do. It says some view the holiday as too Western or tied to the Christian traditions.
Okay, okay. Now that makes sense. Yeah, it's in violation of their religion. Okay, okay.
All right. Number three, Cupid, Ma, also the symbol of romance, has roots in Roman mythology. He's the child of Venus, the Roman goddess of love, and his name comes from the Latin word for desire. And we know that legend holds that Cupid can make someone fall in love by shooting them with a golden arrow. I think we all have heard that before.
That's
Have you
right.
have you ever been shot by an arrow?
Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrow flow straight to my lover's heart. Yeah. So that's from Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke made that song called Cupid.
Well, I said,
Yeah.
have you ever been shot by a golden arrow?
Oh, yes. Oh, definitely a couple times.
Okay. All right. In France, while Paris is often considered the most romantic city in the world, there are two villages that compete for the most romantic. On the weekend, closest to February 14th, St. Valentine often offers couples the chance to marry in a rose-covered garden and pin love notes on a tree of vows. And I think the other one is called Roque Mar, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it, guys. Forgive me. Hosts a lovers festival featuring 19th century costumes and music. So that's nice.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
That falls in line with France.
Okay. Oh, lovely. Very nice.
All right, Ma, you seem like you are a distance away. I don't know, something's going on with your mic. Okay. Valentine's Day in Japan. In Japan, An advertising mix up in the early days of Valentine's led to women believing they should give chocolates to men. And as a result, Japan created a reply day called White Day, when men reciprocate by giving chocolates back to the women. And so they still do it today.
WHITE Day?
Mm-hmm.
White?
Yes. So I don't know. It says like Valentine's
Yeah.
Day chocolate sales account for 50% of Japan's annual chocolate market. So that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Val-
Very big. Okay.
yes, Valentine's Day in Thailand. So in Bangkok's district, also known as the Village of Love, couples flock to get married on Valentine's Day. The district is believed to ensure long-lasting marriages. Lovebirds begin lining up at Bangkok district office early in the morning to get married. So that's nice. In
That's
Italy,
the name of it, Bang Crack?
Bang Rack,
Oh,
Bangrak.
okay. All righty. Okay.
All right. Number seven, in Italy, in Verona, where Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet took place, about 1,000 letters addressed to Juliet are sent each year on Valentine's Day. The city's association with the famous couple make it a romantic destination for many, and people from around the world write to Juliet in hopes of receiving a reply. They really think Juliet's going to reply to them now?
Well, maybe there is Juliet. Not the original, obviously, but maybe a Juliet will reply. Okay.
In Australia, a family planning organization has made Valentine's Day synonymous with National Condom Day. The campaign encourages couples to say it with flowers, do it with condoms, promoting safe sex on the holiday of love.
Please, that's very nice.
Now we have number nine, Valentine's Day in India. Valentine's Day has sparked controversy in India, particularly in 2009, when a Hindu fundamentalist group attacked women at a pub for celebrating. In response, a group of young women started a campaign sending pink panties to the group's leader. Over 3,000 women participated, and the incident led to fewer disruptions in subsequent years as Valentine's Day celebration in India has become more widespread and less dangerous. So that's
Okay. Oh, that's really good. Yeah.
And finally, Valentine's Day in the United States. So, this was a study actually done 10 years ago, revealed that more than half of American women would break up with their partner if they didn't receive a Valentine's Day gift. Additionally, 3% of men considered ending a relationship to avoid the stress of picking the perfect gift. So we know how much money people are spending. Interestingly, sorry, Americans also spend over 500 million on Valentine's Day gifts for their pets.
Oh, wow. Oh, that is so nice. It seems excessive, but okay. Okay.
This is a pet. That was Valentine's Day.
I'm not even going to comment on that. I mean, where we going with that? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's not more than a pet. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay. Okay.
All right, Ma. I need you to tell me three things that made you smile.
I'm going to tell you four. The sun, the stars, the moon, family is number four, and number five is Valentine's Day. Love makes the world go round.
Okay, I'm gonna start with number.
Romantic love for humans. Okay, that's all I'm going to say.
I'm gonna start with number one, which we forgot to lead the show with Black History Month.
Yes, yeah, 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 yes.
Yes. Number two, Beyonce and her Cowboy Carter announcement. Of course, we don't know the dates. Beyonce, how you gonna do that to people? Number three, and this was, of course, not in any type of order. Family, as always, family and friends. And number four, I'm looking forward to the freaking Super Bowl.
Me too, yes, yes. I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl too, and shout out to having a wonderful and supportive family.
All right, Ma, is there anything that you want to say before
Yes,
we go?
yes, life is too short and too long to be unhappy. To thine own self be true. Take care of yourself. Reach out to those that you really speak to or you haven't spoken to, and forgive someone that you've been, unforgiving toward, and take care of yourself.
Okay. So thank you guys. Like mine always says, thank you guys so much for continuing to support the Bamgboshe Happy Hour. Guys, make sure that you have subscribed to our YouTube channel, All Things Space You, home of the Bamgboshe Happy Hour. We break down the traders every Friday, and we also upload these episodes too. So if you want to listen to it on YouTube, you can. Make sure that you are continuing to listen to whatever your preferred platform is for listen to the Bamgboshe Happy Hour. We will be back again on Thursday, guys. Be safe. Take it easy. We'll see you soon. Bye. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and check out full episodes of the Bamgboshe Happy Hour podcast streaming on most platforms.